Greetings everyone, May 12th, 2010, Joseph James, schooltrade.com. Here's your live trading recap, guys. We got a lot to cover today in today's video, guys. Let's first start out by looking at last night's setup. Now, if you guys got the email last night, as you guys know, our blog, we post every evening right now. We're posting the levels we want to watch for tomorrow. So go to the blog. The link is right below the video. That will take you to the blog, guys, and this was sent out last night. Now, if you haven't joined our newsletter or if you haven't subscribed to the blog yet, you may have missed this, and this is a nice big money maker for you guys this morning. Now, yesterday, right, last night about 9 o'clock Eastern Time, we sent an email out telling our members, of course, to be aware of this 26.79 level here in the euro. Well, if you guys took that trade, what'd you guys see? Nice big 20, 30-point move above that 26.79. Now, if you got aggressive and got in above 26.67, remember we talked about that last night, that 26.67 level. More conservative would have been above 26.79. But, of course, what happened was it jumped up above that once we saw the dollar break below its lows and gave us a nice big 30-tick move. All right, guys, so, of course, at 4 contracts, right, that's $1,000, right? That is $1,000 move, right? 120 ticks. That'd be 1,200 USD. I'm sorry, even more than that. That'd be a $1,500 trade right there, guys, for your euro. All right, guys, 12 per tick above 26.79. Open up your charts. You'll see for yourself. And don't forget, guys, we're going to keep you guys posted on the levels for tomorrow later on this evening. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. All right, let's get started, though. Want to remind you guys, all this information is covered in our blog. The blog link is right below this video. There's a search box in the blog, guys. If you want to know more about anything, just search for the topic you're looking for on the blog. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter while you're there. Subscribe to the blog. That way you guys get all the new stuff that comes out. Guys, we continue another big winning day here in the room. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 total trades. We got one loss in there. We cut it nice and short, though, so obviously it didn't cost us very much money. And we were only $1,000 away from our monthly goal. So in less than 2 weeks, we've now been able to achieve our monthly goal here in the month of May, guys. If you're not getting involved with membership right now, guys, you're really missing out. We got a lot of great stuff going on here. As you can see, 9 trades, 123 ticks, 1230. This was nothing but the picture perfect patterns all day today, guys, and we'll talk more about that as we go forward. So we're almost there at the goal for the month. We'll keep you guys posted. What's the most important that happened today? Well, we were expecting to see a very slow market. My thought process was I just simply didn't think we can continue to see this stuff, right? This price action can't keep up with this forever, right? Well, it certainly did today. We had a little bit of a slow start to the day. There wasn't much news events. There was no anybody speaking important today. No Obama speaking, no Trichet speaking. So we really didn't have a lot of expectations for today. And when we began to open up our chart this morning, we watched the dollar first. And you can see this market really kind of snuck up on us. Because when you look at the dollar this morning, you see the dollar here, sideways market, right? This sideways range here in the dollar. So when we see sideways range in the dollar, we usually are going to see sideways ranges on everything else. Now, of course, sideways ranges to a lot of traders may spell disaster, but for us here at School of Trade, guys, we actually succeed, I think, a little bit better in sideways markets. Here's a great snapshot we saw in Crude today. We actually took that 2 steps short, and I'll show you guys in a second on this. But as you can see, guys, sideways range, right? Nice big wide sideways range. And if you're wondering what's the best way to trade a sideways market, the first thing is you've got to know how to identify a sideways market. So we saw the dollar first. The dollar gave us a clue. Then we looked at the Crude here, and you can see the first hour of Crude, nothing but sideways chop. So that correlation holds strong. Now, in a sideways market, I'm going to lock up that profit tight, stick it in my back pocket, and hold on to it. In a trending environment, I'll let those trades run. So just a little bit of a heads up, in a sideways market, we're going to be aggressive at taking profit. Whereas earlier on this week, we saw a trending environment where we're going to let those trades kind of run a little bit more because we expect to see much bigger moves in the big scheme of things. So sideways market, great example here on the Crude of how we can trade a sideways market, selling the highs, buying the lows, and that takes us into our first trade of the morning here, guys, on Crude. It was exactly that. Right here, just before 9 o'clock, just at 9 o'clock, was that 2-step. Okay, so we had a big sideways range here. We went up to the top of the range, 76.50 here on Crude. As you guys know, we break, there's your 76.50 up top here. So we're going to bounce off these highs, market bar swing low, and then take this back to the downside. Now I got kind of a little bit of a bad bounce here. You'll notice that we have this little tiny candlestick right there, just about 76.44, 76.43. And that candle, what happened was it filled me at 50s, right? Filled me at 50s. And then, of course, you can see here, bounced me out. Now, the way we manage our trades is my ATM strategy is set up at +4. It moves that stop down to entry -1. So what happened was it prematurely bounced me out. It tested my first target, moved my stop down, and then bounced up, filled my stop, and then went 20 ticks down. Now, you can avoid this by setting up your ATM strategy at 5+1, right? If this would have been at 5 ticks and then moved the stop down, I would have been sitting pretty in this. Okay, so you can see a little bit of a bad bounce there, guys, but you know what? That happens, right? That happens. Nice big 20-tick move. Bunch of you members grabbed it this morning here. I got out with only 4 ticks, right? So 4 ticks in our pocket to get the day started here at 9 o'clock. But as you guys know, guys, it was a big day no matter what we did today. Next up on the Russell, we took 3 back-to-back trades here on the Russell. 2 winners and 1 loss. Now, ultimately, what happened here on the Russell was we were trading at the high of day. So trading through the high of day here, we have a short-term trend up. We're going through the high of day here. So, of course, first of all, we break above that 700 even level. We mark up our swing high. We break above that swing high for our first trade here, 957. Okay, breaker pattern long, 011. We took our first target at +4, stop to entry +1, 2 off at 4, 2 off at 1. That's 10 ticks or 100 USD. That was the first breaker pattern long, a trend continuation pattern. Then the second one came only about 8-10 minutes later here. We break back up through, again, through overhead resistance at 702 even. We mark up our swing high level. We then break above that swing high, and that's going to be your breaker pattern long again. Now notice both of these are at the high of day. At the high of day, we want to see green pace of the tape, momentum pointing up, lots of big buyers on the filtered time and sales window. We got exactly that. 3.3 was the fill we ended up filling at. +4, +8, +8. That means we got our first target at +4, 2 off at 4. Second target at +8, 1 off at 8. And the final contract for our 4 contract trade is taken off for a runner, and we got there at +8. So we managed our final position to lock up 8 more ticks before it got all chopped up over here. All right, guys, 2 off at 4, 1 off at 8, 1 off at 8, 24 ticks times 10 bucks a tick is 240 USD. So at this point, guys, we had made 34 ticks in a matter of 15 minutes in the Russell. Wonderful news, obviously, because the Russell had been going sideways most of the morning this morning. And then we decided we'd look for a 2-step. As you guys know, at the high of day here, we expect this high of day eventually to hold, right? It can't keep breaking these highs the whole time. At this point, we start looking for a 2-step, a reversal going back to the downside here off these highs, right? We expect that high of day to hold, so we look for a bounce off it. This one, of course, 8 minutes later at 10:12, a 2-step pattern short. Now what happened here was, you'll notice here at 7:04, we got below the trigger line. Okay, that trigger line, that was my entry, right? Get below that trigger line for a 2-step. Most important part, get below that level of support. That way I can let this thing drop. But we never saw it drop. We saw a bunch of big sellers at 704s, 704.1s, 039s, guys. But what we saw today, this is a great example here of knowing what to do if something goes wrong. If you're in a trade and you see that it's not working out, look at your indicators. MACD was above the 0 line. Momentum was pointing up, and the pace of the tape was red. So all of a sudden, now that confirmed the exit. I hit the flatten button, hitting the close button, and I got taken out at entry -1. 4 ticks, right? 4 contracts. That's 4 ticks total for a negative 40 bucks. So we gave back 4 ticks after we had made 34 ticks on the way up. As always, though, we're always open to that 2-step reversal off the high of day. This one just simply didn't work out for us. That's all right, though. We'll have plenty more where that came from.